I'm going to get so much hate for this, but because I've promised that I'm not going to be nice anymore in 2019, here we are. One of my fans asked me to make a video about human toilet slaves or people in general who have a human toilet fetish. What is that fetish? The term refers to slaves and submissives in general that they get sexual arousal from consuming the waste of another person. In most cases, the waste of their mistress or their master, which is their urine or their feces. From what I've seen, from my experience in the scene, it's mostly urine, but I think it's not like it's like really mostly urine, but the people who are into pooping and consuming and pretty much scat fetish, because it's still a taboo to a very big extent, they usually do it more privately. But for some reason, consuming urine is much more acceptable, so you see it a lot more. When someone does that or when they have that fetish, it is one of those cases that, again, from what I've seen and observed and talked to with pay pigs and asked other mistresses, because personally I do not have that fetish, it's something that starts from a young age. Like, I've had pay pigs telling me that they felt sexual arousal since a very young age from that. It's not like tentacle fetish that you watch too much tentacle porn and you start being aroused. So if you're one of those people who are planning to do fetish shaming, you're going to be blocked. Just letting you know, we cannot stop people from being aroused from specific things. Okay, it's definitely considered a paraphilia like every other fetish, but that's not a reason to shame or hurt the person, and definitely not on my channel. Many pay pigs, interestingly, told me that it started and escalated. That they started watching porn with women and men using the bathroom by themselves to poop or to pee. Then they started experimenting with having someone who's a dominant peeing and pooping on them. And then the third stage was consuming it. So I think it takes time to build up, because it's one of the things that require very high level of trust. Because I always encourage people to practice fetishes safely, and this is one of those fetishes that you can contract bacterial infections, viral infections, parasitic infections, so you should never do it with complete strangers. It should be with a person that you are in a long-term dominant and submissive relationship with, and the person must have been tested, must not be having an infection, like a bladder infection, because everything that infects them is going to infect you. Okay, we do not glorify here being reckless and playing with your health. People would ask though, how does one end up with a fetish for consuming urine and poop, and what's going on there? How isn't that person disgusted? I want to remind you that the notion of people showering before sex or being clean before sex, although it's very good for us, it's relatively new. For hundreds of years, sex was supposed to be dirty, smelly, people couldn't shower every day. In cases like France in Napoleon times, people were showering once a year. So because nature didn't want our species to be extinct, for most people, when they get sexually aroused a lot, their gagging reflex, their disgust goes down exponentially. So that's one of the reasons that some people have more tolerance to that, or they may end up getting aroused and others do not. All of the fetishes, if you haven't watched my earlier videos, have directly to do with the 5 psychosexual stages. Something happens during those stages and we end up aroused and we end up having fetishes with specific things that other people do not. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this. It's not something that happens because you're a bad person or because you did something or because you watched too much porn with that. For many people, the moment something is taboo, the moment something is kinky and forbidden, it becomes sexy. And we are raised to think that using the bathroom, to urinate or to poop is something that is very private. You're supposed to be doing it alone. If other people see you, that's shaming you. So many people get aroused by sharing something so personal with someone else, or by consuming something that comes out of a person that they adore and worship. Okay, if you are not into the fetish, don't expect to understand completely, and just like listen with the intention to learn and expand your horizons. Okay, I'm not trying to convert anyone into having the fetish. We're just talking things that no one else dares to talk because most people are not as brave as I am. Now, to the practical part. You're a mistress and you're a goddess and you want to make money from that fetish. First of all, congratulations on being very brave. Most wouldn't dare. Second, if you are into digital domination, there is an insane amount of money to be made if you make videos of yourself using the bathroom to pee or to poop and sell them. You don't know how much money we're talking about. The question, do I need to show my face? The short answer is no. You can show nose down or nothing at all. Watch my previous videos on how to make money, making videos, where to upload them. And there are people going to say, okay, are you trolling us here? Can I just pee every time and make a video and sell it? Yes, you can. We haven't talked about peeing fetish yet. We have to talk about it in upcoming videos, but there is a very big market. And if you are one of those weeaboos and Koreaboos watching me and you are speaking Asian languages, the market is 10 times bigger for you because it's a fetish that in Asia is much more popular than in the West. Thing number 2, which is something that I do not recommend for hygiene reasons, but I think in short distance you can do it, is there are a lot of mistresses that I know that they're selling their pee, and masters, especially masters actually more than mistresses. You're going to say, okay, you're definitely trolling us. Who would pay to buy your pee or my pee? If someone is a very dedicated pay pig and they have this fetish, they're definitely going to buy it. But I do not promote sending bodily fluids with the post office. Ideally, you should do that only with your local pay pigs. But because I'm here to tell you how to make money and not to indoctrinate you to be moral, I'm going to tell you if you can find a way to ship it, there's a lot of money to be made. As for sending your poop, I've never met anyone doing that, or at least admitting that, so you're kind of by yourself there. I don't know how to do that, and I'm so sure many people do that actually in secret. Many, the people who have the fetish, but again, no one speaks about it in public, so I'm lacking information here. Definitely you can start with your pee and build from there. And last but not least, if you're one of those girls who does real life meetings and you meet a slave human toilet, just use the toilet, okay? And charge so much for that, as much as you want. All of those things, I'm saying them as a general guide because I get a lot of people sending me emails and asking me questions. I have all the good intention of answering you, but I have to point out something for you. Everything that I say is general guidelines. I want to help you get your own style, your own methods, and there is not a one-fit-all answer. Because when you're starting into this scene and you want to make money, and you've never even heard of many of those fetishes in your life, you have to try them to see what you're comfortable with doing and not comfortable. And I've met people who said, you know, I realized I have fetishes as well, or I have this specific fetish as well, and I've never explored it before. So my opinion is try something at least once before you reject it. Don't shame anyone because the BDSM scene is a closed scene. I know that everyone knows everyone pretty much, so if you get the reputation of being a conservative bitch, it's going to hurt you financially long term very much. But I cannot answer you if your feet are pretty enough or if you are pretty enough, like in total. I believe that there is an audience for everyone. So I don't want you to get discouraged and I don't want you to give up, but building a following takes time, takes at least a few months. I want you to be patient. Okay, that's all for today. And if you want me to feature other fetishes, just leave them in the comment section. I have a list with suggestions for upcoming fetishes. So if you have already sent me your suggestion, just be a bit patient and we're going to have it featured really soon. Okay, thank you for watching.